down in Mozambique on the water had made plaster casts of several of these children with this horrific tumor, and he put it in a crate in the bottom. And when Dennis, everyone forgot about it. And when Dennis got there, he went down, by this point he was 50 years old, he went down to the basement, carried it up to the rooftop and photographed it. The roads themselves were treacherous at times, but what happened was they could see that there was a pattern, as I said, but it wasn't a geographical pattern, it was a topological one. It had a lot to do with altitude and rainfall, and less to do with place. And you can see here that in any area where there was an annual rainfall of over 50 centimeters, in Stanford, Palo Alto, and West, a couple of days, and an average winter temperature of over 15.6 degrees, there were these cases. And anywhere where there were no cases. And as they were talking about it, someone got the old idea that, well, maybe it has something to do with infection. There was a guy named Alexander Haddo, the Russian Alexander Haddo, one that was an entomologist, and he said, well, I remember that there was an epidemic of sleeping sickness, which was passed along by the tsetse fly, and this reminds me a lot of that. And then someone else suggested, oh, what about the Anopheles mosquito and that other terrible payload from that mosquito, which was malaria. And you can see here that the map of malaria is essentially a map of Parkinson's lymphoma. So here was the first big giant clue. Now, there was a whole separate track. So in 1960 or 61, I think it was 1960, Dennis Burke had gone to London to Middlesex Hospital, where he would talk about the crazy diseases that he would see. It was like the bush surgeon comes in from the cold and tells all about the stories, or from the hot, I should say, and tells all the stories of the doctor in the wild. And they had this auditorium set up for him that sees 1,000 people, and 12 people showed up to this one of his stories. And one of those guys was a guy named Tony Epstein. Now, Tony had been studying infectious causes of cancer. And there had been all sorts of tantalizing clues about the infectious causes of cancer ever since Peyton Lewis in 1911 had managed to passage the cells from a chicken cell cancer from one to another, from a rock hen, from one to another. And then he was munching out, of course, 60 years later he won the Nobel Prize, but there had been all sorts of tantalizing clues. There had been, the leopard frog and the round cottontail rabbit and all sorts of other animal models there had been evidence of tumors passed along by infection, but never in humans. And Tony Epstein was looking for some evidence of that and studying some sort of infectious agent. And so after the first of the speeches that Burke gave, Tony invited him out to tea. And he said, oh, hello, but he said, oh, hello, why don't you, would it be possible if, by any chance, you could send some of your samples? Now, as I said, Burke was in Kampala, Uganda, and Tony was in London, and in 1960 or so, in order to send tumor samples, that far was a very, very difficult proposition. So, of course, then Burke said, yes, right away, happy to do it. Once a week, there's a flight from Uganda, from Kampala to London, and on the night before, he would pack whatever specimens he could get, from whatever patients he could get, packing wet ice and dry ice. It was an overnight flight. Tony would leave the flight in the morning, and then he would get a soggy batch of vials. And every once in a while, he was able to pass it through some cells and propagate a cell line. And finally, he was able to find something remarkable in one of them, with an electron microscope, which was kind of rare in those days. And here's what he found. He found Epstein-Barr virus. Now, of course, it wasn't called Epstein-Barr virus when Epstein found it, but later it was. And it turns out that Tony, and here's a picture of Tony, he needed some help, too, in sort of identifying, finding more of these viral titers in these cell lines. And he reached out to this guy, Sierra Coup, who had come to visit. You got anyone recognize him? He's a former Surgeon General. He's the same face, he's kind of amazing. So Coup had gone to Uganda and had come back to the Henleys, where the escaped Nazi Germany, in Sweden, where they were working on, they were phenomenal-virologists, husband and wife team, and they had some skill sets in identifying viruses themselves. And they said, if you want to work on the viral etiology of cancer, this is your chance. And so they took it out, and lo and behold, they found evidence of EBV in not just in cells, but in the nuclei of these cells, which is remarkable. And in fact, the more testing they did, the more powerful the evidence was that the Burkitt's lymphoma was, as it was now being called, was profoundly affected by EBV in some way. Now, a theory is emerging here, and we have one cofactor, one parasite, very red blood cells, with EBV, a virus that seems to affect, basically the time of bigger blood blood cells. And how these two things together transform the immune site, okay, at this point. And so this was a great big curious mystery that was happening. At least something, we're getting closer to understanding the truth. But that wasn't just the only thing that Burkitt was interested in. No, he was interested in curing this disease. So Joe Burkitt was an early chemotherapist at Sloan Kettering in the Oregon Sloan Kettering Institute, and they had remarkable success curing childhood leukemias, or at least bringing the long-term remissions in the early days, with a drug called methotrexate, the folate, the substrate essentially itself. And when Burkitt came to Uganda, here was Burkitt saying, oh, here, so that's basically that. And so he tried it, and it didn't work. And they tried cyclophosphamide, which is another new drug at the time, the early chemotherapy arsenal, and they gave it to this boy, and lo and behold, it worked. Incredible. Amazing remission. So at this point, another guy named Peter Clifford, who was in Nairobi at the time, he started to experiment using a lot of the, again, these were shotgun one-arm things, and people get arrested for that today. But they were trying whatever they could to save these kids and these fast-growing tumors. And lo and behold, this is a combination of methotrexate and cyclophosphamide, and this is, all these kids, 15 kids, all cured with Burkitt's lymphoma using this arsenal, this new